States at the time even called it the Chinese virus. New Jersey high school junior Kyler Zhou was at soccer practice when he was told that he and his people had caused the pandemic. All over the country, Asian Americans were experiencing a rise in racist and violent encounters. Slurs were hurled at Asian Americans in the street. This pandemic wouldn't have happened if you stayed in your country where you belong. Or, you brought the virus on purpose. A majority, 68% of the attacks were directed at females. Children and the elderly were other targets. Harassers seemed to be singling out the most vulnerable. In San Francisco, on January 28, 2021, an 84-year-old Thai-American grandfather named Visha Ratanapakdi was shoved to the ground by a stranger. He died of his injuries. Visha was one of many elderly Asian Americans who were assaulted. And then, on March 6, 2021, an armed gunman entered 3 Asian-owned businesses in Atlanta, Georgia, and opened fire, killing 8 people. 6 of them were Asian American women. The shooter had stated that he wanted to kill all Asians. Less than a month later, 4 Sikh American warehouse workers were targeted, shot, and killed in Indianapolis. These mass shootings rocked the Asian American community. There was a simultaneous feeling of, this can't be happening in the year 2021, along with the chilling suspicion that we have been here before. The rise in hate crimes against Asian Americans in the early 2020s felt connected to those individual personal stories of feeling othered, like those of Brian and Christina. It felt connected to their parents' and grandparents' stories, and it felt connected to the fragments of Asian American history that they did know. Russell, Rio, Kyler, Brian, and Christina felt they had to do something. Staying silent or accepting the violence was not an option. It was the height of the pandemic, which meant that all over the country, Americans were in physical isolation. Even so, the teenagers used the tools they had to find their voices and to find each other. Rio wrote articles about discrimination and COVID-19. Kyler started a magazine about Asian American issues called Hear Our Voices. At first, it was just him and 2 other friends writing. Within a year and a half, the magazine had a staff of 26 and over 15,000 readers. Russell founded a group in his New Jersey hometown called the Livingston AAPI Youth Alliance. Members of the alliance, along with other Asian American youth like Christina, Rio, Kyler, and Brian, started working with parents, teachers, and other advocates to make schools require Asian American and Pacific Islander history. They all believed that learning about the history of Asian Americans was necessary to understand what was happening to Asian Americans today. These young activists joined the long legacy of Asian Americans who have stood up, spoken out, and worked alongside others to make America live up to its ideals as a nation of justice, equality, and freedom. Asian American history is not made up of one single story. It's many. And it's a story that you have to know if you want to understand the history of America. It begins centuries before America even existed as a nation. It is connected to the histories of Western exploration, conquest, and colonialism in Asia and beyond. It's a story of migration, of people and families crossing the Pacific Ocean in search of new beginnings and opportunities, or to escape hunger, poverty, and persecution. It is also the story of race and racism, of being unjustly categorized along with Native Americans and African Americans as inferior, dangerous, uncivilized, and unfit to become citizens, of being segregated and prevented from attending certain schools.